Well, we are joining you from Naivasha here in Nakuru County, where the second phase of the Kenya Devolution Support Program is underway, and we have seen a host of governors present in this event. And during the first phase, which started in 2016 to 2021, we saw the World Bank supporting the program with $200 million. So right now we are joined by the Deputy COG of the Governor Mutahi Kahiga, who is going to explain to us more about this sensitization exercise and what lessons they've drawn from the previous, the first phase, and they are looking forward to take to the second phase. Karibu sana, Bwana Governor. What are some of the things that you are looking forward to achieve in this sensitization exercise?
Thank you. KDSP 2 is just building on what the lessons that we learned in KDSP 1. On this, we are moving away from the infrastructural aspects. Right now we are looking at strengthening devolution through proper management of the human resource, proper financial transactions and management of finances. Those are the areas that will be the bigger focus on KDSP 2. Over and above that, of course, there is still the component of what impact do the program, because I think every county stands to get about 350 million in the first phase and a second tranche, and of course they will have to work around the specifics that will be given, their conditionalities, what kind of program can you run, can you do with the money and that kind of thing. So really, what we need to say is that devolution is really operating in a very, very squeezed space. And this is having looked at what KDSP did, and having been in Nyeri, I have testimony to that, because in Narumoro stands a full-fledged level 4 hospital that was as a result of KDSP 1, and maybe in the KDSP 2, God willing, if we can meet all the conditionalities, we will also do greater things. And therefore, I want to urge all governors to walk the journey with the World Bank, beat all the deadlines, and be within the timelines, do as they should. And on this note, I must call out Treasury, because Treasury continues to delay the approval and release of funds, especially for donor funding. As we are speaking right now, the county government's additional allocation bill was passed. It was assented to by the president. It has been gazetted, but the money is yet to reach the counties, and that is one of the issues that is continuing to. KDSP is part of that. It continues to delay, and we are moving now. By the 31st of March, we will have closed on procurement. So we're going to have a problem.
Earlier on, you spoke about the COG detaching from the office of the Deputy President. Maybe you can highlight more on that, and what are some of the steps that you are proposing so that you ensure that county funds are released immediately and county governments get to benefit through doing projects?
I mean, what we needed to say is that devolution, we need to walk back and see there was a time we had a fully fledged ministry, which was led by, I think, Governor Waiguru then. She was a CS. And that is what helped us ground devolution. We have seen a emasculation of devolution. Today, it is a desk somewhere in the office of the Deputy President. It is being called a state department with very little funding. And my message was simple. Devolution is the way Kenyans want to live. It is the hope of Kenyans. If you want to know what devolution is doing, just go to Wajir, go to Garissa, go to those places that had been traditionally left behind, and you see what devolution is doing today. And what my pledge was is that I think we need to refocus and strengthen devolution by ensuring it is not a small state department under the Deputy President's office, which is a pretty busy office. The Deputy President has quite a number of portfolios. And so devolution might end up just being another one within that mix-up. And therefore what we are saying is, it's time we call upon the president to just strengthen devolution by even giving us a ministry, a fully-fledged ministry that will focus on devolution. Because what is more important in Kenya today than devolution? Yes.
There's also the aspect of accountability of funds.
Yes.
Maybe you can speak to that, because that topic has been mentioned largely in terms of strengthening county financing, budgeting, public participation.
Yes. You see, what has been happening around is that because we have 47 governors, that is 47 governments and one government, there is a lot of focus on counties as bastions of areas where there is little or no accountability, which is not true. There is no other public office that is more scrutinized, is more vetted, is more, oversighted than the county government. Let me give an example. A county government or a county governor is oversighted by the county assembly and the Senate. Those how many bodies? 2. When you look at the national government, it's only oversighted by Parliament, and your guess is as good as mine. Parliament and are in bed with the executive. So what are you telling us? Now today the focus is on county governments. Yet county governments have to go undergo oversight by the county assembly, and then, as if that is not enough, every other day we are appearing at the Senate. So the oversight should also be taken to the other level, so that if we are talking about national government, we focus also on the proper oversight. But the challenge has come because the National Assembly has transformed itself into an executive body. That is why they are doing roads, they are fighting about CDF, and the fact of the matter is that their roles are only 3. That is oversight, representation, and legislation. But there we are. Yes.
Now, finally, before I let you go, back to KDSP, what are some of the lessons and that you're looking to improve from KDSP 1 to KDSP 2 to ensure that residents, the local Mwananchi, benefit from the funds and the projects that are going to be undertaken?
Now, one of the key areas that we are going to really focus on is public participation. So we don't leave anyone behind, and we ensure, because this is entrenched in our constitution, in the choice of projects, in the choice of the projects we are going to undertake, we want to carry everyone along, so that we are able to be the projects are owned by the community. That is number one. I spoke about financial accountability. I also spoke about the human resource function, strengthening it, because where counties have got proper human resource, then the services will be better rendered. That's the way it should be.
Finally, are there some counties maybe they were given money and they were not able to utilize, maybe, and for what reason?
What you can say is that allocation of funds was done. All counties endeavored to achieve their set goals, but the level of achievement may differ from those that got 100% to those that have gone because of many other reasons. Remember, as a focus, we go in one direction, but there are so many unforeseen things. So there could be 1 or 2 that were not able to really actualize their dream, but are still in the process. Yes.
Thank you very much.
God bless.
Yeah. So that has been the Deputy Chair of the Council of Governor Mutahi Kahiga, who's been giving us a brief overview of what has been happening today. And some of the issues that he's spoken about is the key focus of this second phase of the Kenya Devolution Support Program is that they seek to strengthen county financing. They also seek to build a stronger human resource to ensure that service delivery is beefed upon, or service delivery is improved in counties. And they also seek to improve performance management within county, as well as improve public participation in different projects that they undertake. In a few moments, we are going to crossover inside to follow the program that is underway, and we will be sure to update you in our subsequent bulletins.
Institutional grant is a grant that is meant to strengthen the institution we refer to as the county government and improve performance of the same. This is where we're looking at dealing with most of the governance gaps that we have been having to ensure that we're able to function properly. During KDSP 1, we focused mostly on individual capacity building. In KDSP 2, we're going to see less of individual capacity building, but we're going to focus mostly on development of the systems that make the county perform as a county government. That's why we are talking about human resource management system, performance management system, and many others. Please note again that the system is not necessarily an ICT system. So we will look even at the human resource structures, organizational structures, and all that to make sure that we have the right establishment, to make sure that we are using the proper organizational structures, and all those reforms will make devolution work. Together, of course, we've already agreed our focus is making devolution work, and I am sure if we deal with these reforms, devolution will work. Service delivery grant, this is a grant that will be provided for an investment. But condition number one is that the investment must be focused on improving service delivery. Already said once again, our focus is taking service delivery closer to the people. So the key criteria, although we have other conditions that I may not be able to go through here, is that the investment that we choose must be targeting to improve the service delivery to our people. Now, one thing will allow me to note, and I know it has already been noted by the previous speakers, is that counties are required to provide some funds to support the achievement of these reforms. Actually, what we are implementing at the county level is P4R, performance for results. How performance for results work is that you are supposed to implement the reforms, then you get the reimbursements. So let us make sure that we provide sufficient counter funding. Of course, those who understand the P4L very well may tell me it is not necessarily counter funding, but we use that term because it is easily understood, to ensure that the reforms that we are looking at are implemented. At the moment, I know as I go to the challenges, we realize I will note that as one of the challenges we have been having. Because as we talk now, I know we have not disbursed, we are going to disburse, but we have already assessed. Because we are supposed to have achieved the reforms, then you will assess to verify the results have been achieved, then we disburse. So please make sure the governors with us and those who are representing the governors that we are able to achieve, to provide the counterpart funding. Now for the institutional grant, we have a number of conditions. It is important to note these conditions because these conditions have to be met for you to get the institutional grant. One is we have the counties that have signed the participation agreement that I know about 7 counties already did. We have the counties that have work plans, cash plans, and budgets consistent with the agreed methodology and standards. Of course that you did, but it was for 24-25. So it means coming to 25-26, you will need to have developed those documents again for that other year. Then counties that with the implementation arrangement, I know from our assessment, all the counties have established the implementation arrangements. However, I know we have already communicated to a number of counties. The communication was very specific because within the implementation arrangement, some of the areas, the tours provided in the program operations manual are not followed. And therefore, some of the people who are given the responsibility of doing some of the activities do not meet the requirements. Please, if that communication came to your county, make sure that is rectified so that you can be able to implement the program successfully. Then there's a qualified and unqualified audit. This, I know, is a tricky one. But when we implemented KDSP 1, by the time we closed 38 out of 47 counties and qualified, they earned either qualified or unqualified audit opinion. I don't know the status at the moment, and that's why we gave 1 year. We didn't assess that during the previous assessment because we needed to also take our time and ensure that counties have put their houses in order. Come the assessment we are going to do in August, September, we are going to look at this. So it is important to ensure that we have our audit report either qualified or unqualified. Then implementation progress. We will be keen on submission on the implementation program and also the reports on the utilization of the program funds. If we don't have very clear reports on this, then this is a condition that may make your county miss out on the funds. And finally, timely release of KDSP 2 funds from the county revenue fund, that is CRF, to the special purpose account. Now, this is very important. I know we are under some challenges here in KDSP 1. It is important to note that immediately you receive the funds, you're supposed to transfer them to the CLF account from where they will be utilized. Key thing to note, and I know we under struggle with a few counties, is that this account has to be opened at the Central Bank of Kenya. During KDSP 1, we had some of these accounts opened at the commercial banks. So in this case, all the CLF accounts for KDSP 2 are at the Central Bank of Kenya. I know you already did that because this is one of the things that we looked at during the VAS assessment. And of course, there are several other things around this, but what we need to emphasize here now is the transfer. Make sure that immediately we do the disbursement. We are already working on the disbursement. You all know that the CGAP was actually assented to just the other day, but we have moved very quickly. We already communicating to even the treasurer and the bank. The bank has already communicated back. We are in the process of working for the disbursement. So we hope that you will be receiving these soon. Then the service delivery investment level, already saying this is the grant that will deal with service delivery. And I already talked about the projects that will be eligible. So I would wish to move to the conditions, the minimum conditions. So I want to move to the minimum conditions. Now, I think this is working from the... So we move to the minimum conditions. That is for the level 2. Okay. So for the minimum conditions, as we work on this, because I think somebody else is moving this, there are a number of conditions that we need to work on to ensure that we are able to achieve the results for level 2. And we have actually a total of 8 of them that we're supposed to deal with. One of them is the ensuring that the county has established county project management unit. I know this we have already established, and therefore, in this case, it will be a matter of maintaining. It will be a matter of maintaining the county project management unit, and then it's okay. Yeah. So then we have the county disclosing an overview of all the pending bills. One of the key focus of this program is transparency. We need to have transparency in governance, so we need to disclose the data. So we ensure that we disclose the overview of the pending bills. Then we have the county disclosing the data on OSL correction by type. There are various types of OSL, so we need to ensure that this is disclosed by type. Then we have the county has prepared an implementation plan for HR and payroll audits and published staffing list aligned with the approved staff establishment. Now, there is an HR audit that was conducted by OAG. It was funded by KDSP 2. The focus of that audit was to ensure that we are able to identify where we have gaps in terms of the payroll, and then we are able to provide the recommendations for implementation. So that was the main focus of that. So very soon we'll be sharing a report on the findings and the recommendations. And once we share that, then of course the counties will have to develop an implementation plan of the recommendations to ensure that we are able to deal with that. Additionally, counties are supposed to do the HR audit and then also implement the recommendations. Now, then the availability of work plan and budget for use by the investment grant next fiscal year. Then availability of visibility standards for investment to be funded by level 2 grant. So I already said under KLI 3, we are looking at ensuring that there is proper screening of projects before they are implemented. Then number 7 is the single project management unit structure approved. Note here we are looking at the structure. So I know together with the county governments, the national government, and various agencies, we are working together to come up with the model structure for the project management, the single project management unit. This one, we are looking at having it both at the national and the county level. Of course, for those of us who have been implementing programs, we've realized we have challenges where we don't have consolidated data, because we find that we have project implementation unit for each and every project, both at the national and the county level. There's a lot of duplication. Since I started implementing program, we have always been doing, for example, GLM. GLM is a good thing, but we do it always. There's a GLM in FROCA, there's a GLM in KDSP2, there's a GLM in COSP. But then we need somebody who can integrate that data so that at the end of the day, we have a one-stop shop where we can get data about the implementation of the programs. Of course, that may not eliminate some of the aspects that we already have, but then it will streamline the implementation of the programs. And then finally, the issue of the training of the gender officers is very critical, and therefore this is also a condition that needs to be met. So it is my request that we make sure that we know this and follow up even during our steering committee meetings to ensure that our technical teams and the implementation teams have taken this and ensure that this is done. Now, moving to the next is the disbursement linked indicators. We look at the principles. How are we going to allocate the funds? We have seen, of course, there are two levels. Level one is straightforward. Level one is a flat rate. Once you qualify, a flat rate. And that is what we are expecting once the disbursement is done. All the 7 counties qualified. The flat rate is 234,500 euros. The loan was given in euros. I know the National Treasury actually clarified and was very clear it is a loan. It was given in euros because euros, the exchange rate for the euros is a bit stable. And so this is the amount that we expect at for each county once you qualify for level 1, that is meeting the conditions or requirements of DLI 2. Now for level 2, we have 5 DLIs. DLI 1, we see these at the national government level. DLI 2, level 1. Then DLI 3 to DLI 7, 5 of them will now be dealt with by level 2. And we are saying that 50% of the envelope is divided amongst counties that meet the DLI result along the lines of CLI formula. So here we'll have counties that qualify. I will not display the allocation for each DLI, but each DLI is allocated a certain amount of funds. So now, if a county is, for example, supposed to get 70 million for achieving the results in that DLI, the moment you meet the DLI or the results, then you get 50%. But note that these are at this level, we'll use the CLI formula. So that means if it is, for example, 50 million, it is roughly 25 million, but it may not be exactly 25 million because of the CLI formula. Meeting the DLI, for example, means if we say you increase the own source revenue by 5% above the rate of inflation, then it means once you increase your own source revenue by at least 5% over and above the rate of inflation, you are meeting the results. However, we have performance measures after that. The reforms that needs to be done to ensure that we sustain the reform. So for example, if you're talking about the own source revenue, then we need to do revenue mapping properly. We need to put in place proper system for revenue management. We need to do revenue forecasting for us to be able to sustain proper increase in own source revenue. Then those becomes the performance measures. And those are the measures upon which more marks will be allocated to now measure the performance. So achievement of the result is giving us a flat rate at 50%. Then after that, the other 50% we'll get it based on the performance. Please remember, this is a performance for results program, and therefore it encourages performance. However, we needed to have a base allocation for everybody who qualifies, because coming from what we learned in KDSP 1, some counties would qualify but get some amount of resources that you cannot implement a substantive project. But once we get a base allocation of this 50% after achieving the results, then that ensures that any county that qualifies will have resources that will enable you to implement a substantive project that can lead to improvement in service delivery. So the total allocation in level 2 will be what you get after meeting the results of the DLI and what you get in terms of meeting the performance measures. One thing we need to note is that there are performance conditions and performance measures. We have to meet the performance conditions for both level 1 and level 2. You may not qualify for level 2 if you have not qualified for level 1. Now, we have done quite a lot at the moment, as much as we are launching the program today. I will go through this a little bit fast because of time. So some of the achievements we have done is the development of revenue forecasting model 2 for use by the county governments that was already mentioned, development of the county own source revenue mapping guidelines, development of county pending bills action plan template, rollout of the human resource information system, the development of guidelines on HR and skills audit, model organizational structures for county departments, and guidelines for determination of staff establishment. So all these we have done together with the county governments. One of the principles that we decided to use since the beginning of KDSP 2 is always work with the county government. So there's none of these achievements that I'm mentioning that are developed by the national government and given to the county government to implement. They are developed by the national government, the agencies, and the counties together so that we can be able to give the support. Then this development of integrated performance management guidelines for county governments, county payroll audit was also done, as I mentioned, development of the intergovernmental sector forums framework, then program baseline survey. The program baseline survey was also conducted. I know we are aware that this was conducted in all about 7 counties. Then there's also development of county project stock taking guidelines, finalization of KDSP 2 project screening tool, then the rollout of the community land project management guidelines. I know you've earned teams while we are rolling out that. That, of course, is very critical to ensure that the common mwananchi is involved in the implementation of the projects and they are able to even give their feedback. Then development of the draft guidelines for establishment of the single project management unit. I already talked about this. Then lastly is establishment of the program implementation structures, then signing of the participation agreement, preparation of the program documents, including the work plans, budgets, and the cash flow plans, sensitization of the county teams, and the annual performance assessment for year 2024-2025, which was done, and I've already noted that all the counties qualified. Now, almost to the last is, what are the expectations of the program? At the end of the day, these are the outcomes that we expect to get after the implementation of the program. One of them is the issue of OSR. We expect that we'll have been able to sustainably increase and improve OSR management, both correction and management. We believe that by the time we are closing the program in 2027, all the counties will have moved closer to the potential. I know by now I may not give the statistics, but I don't believe even we are halfway to the potential of what we are supposed to collect. Then the pending bills management, we expect by the end of the program we'll have been able to manage the pending bills. We know this is a challenge, but we expect that after implementing the reforms, then we'll be able to deal with this, then we'll be able to keep the pending bills at the minimal, and we'll also make sure that the commitments are kept to what we can be able to manage. Then improved reliability in transfers to and within the counties for service delivery. We have talked about the exchequer. Both the transfer of resources from the national government to the county government has been a challenge. Also, the transfer of resources within the county governments from the CLF to the SPA has been a challenge. We expect through the reforms, then we'll be able to deal with this, and then we'll have the transfers being done efficiently and effectively. Then we have the human resource management, consolidated data for decision making, improved payroll integrity, and budget control. So we expect all the issues that we have at the human resource at the moment, issues to do with the establishment, issues to do with the payroll, the integrity of the payroll, and all that will have resolved. Then performance management, we expect that we'll have improved the performance management, and therefore we'll be able to account for results through performance. Then we have the enhanced oversight and accountability of use of the public resources. Then we have improved county public investments, which are aligned to the citizen service delivery needs. Improved climate resilience of county infrastructure and projects. And finally, which is our key thing, is the improved service delivery to the people of Kenya. So we really look forward to these results at the end of this program. And I really hope by the time we are measuring as we do the end of program evaluation, we'll have been able to realize this. I have no doubt left in my mind that we'll be able to achieve this based on the pace that we have started. And I pray and hope that we'll move even at a faster rate to achieve these reforms. The final thing I'll discuss about is the challenges. What we have done or we are doing, we are not doing without challenges. And these challenges, of course, most of them have already been mentioned. So I think what we should be looking forward, going forward, is a forum where we deal with the challenges, because it appears the challenges now is a common knowledge. Already most of them have been mentioned by the previous speakers. One of them is the provision of counterpart funding by the counties. At the moment, we still have counties that have not provided counterpart funding for KDSP 2. The moment you don't provide counterpart funding, definitely means that you are looking to fail, because how will you implement the reforms? It is a P4L program for results. Implement the reforms, then we will be able to disburse after we verify that the DLIs have been met. So my request is, some of the counties, I want to congratulate the governors. Actually, some counties have matched, and others have even gone beyond what is being provided by the bank, and that is very commendable. We have counties, for example, we have counties for level 1 who have provided an equal amount, even for what we are implementing now. Some counties have provided the equal amount of what is being provided by the bank. That is very commendable, and I would really request that we follow that route, so that at the end of the day we are able to achieve the results. Number 2 is the development of and the passing of the CGAP. This has been a challenge. I know we have been in several forums that we are discussing this. And I know already the Excellency Governor for Nyeri, who is the Vice Chair, addressed this. The National Treasury is here. We have devolution sector here. It's an issue that we must deal with, because if we are saying we are disbursing by the end of May, June, then the year is crossing. We're supposed to have disbursed. So it's an issue that we must all deal with. We face it and accept there is a problem and come up with solutions. Then inadequate budget and budget cuts, we are facing this both at the national and the county level. Even the program budget, I know we have had challenges where we're having the budget being reduced. And also the allocations sometimes are not enough. So I think this is an area also that needs to be addressed, so that at the end of the day, both at the county level when you're working on your budget, and also at the national level, we need to ensure that we provide sufficient budget for the implementation of these reforms, because they are very critical to us. I will keep on reminding all of us who belong to the counties that no more you belong to the national government. You only work for the national government. But at the end of the day, you go home to a county. If the services are not better at the county, then you are affected. So then we need to work together to ensure that we achieve these results together. Then the program management and coordination, we have a challenge there. We keep on receiving letters even at the moment with counties that have changed the people who are supposed to be managing the program. That will not allow you to achieve results. You have gone to counties whereby you will meet maybe the CEC and the county secretary or whoever, and they will tell you, we are not able to answer that question because the person who was the coordinator is now not here, we are having a new coordinator. Take your time, appoint the coordinator who can deliver. You already know your staff. Take your time, put the structures, and make sure that those structures remain to deliver. Let's not have frequent changes, so that at the end of the day, we are not able to coordinate the program properly. So let's ensure that we maintain the implementation structures that we have put in place will ensure from the word go we put effective implementation structures. We provided in the program operations manual the terms of reference of each and every position of the person who is supposed to be involved in the implementation of the program. If we're able to review and stick to that, we're able to have people in place who can assist you deliver. Please remember at the end of the day, if you achieve these results, there is nothing new we have introduced. That is the mandate as governors that we are given by the people of Kenya. This is what I've gone through, is nothing new. That is what the devolution is supposed to do. That is what the county government is supposed to do. So ideally, we are there supporting each other to actually do what we are supposed to do. So for the recommendations, they are just based on these challenges where we are saying we need to come up with a clear policy and guidelines in the allocation of counterpart funding for programs. We also need to review the framework and the process of developing of the CGAP. And then we also need to provide adequate budget, both at the national level and the county level. And finally, the establishment of the single project management units to ensure that we have firm structures that will be involved in the implementation of the program. That brings me to the end of this presentation. I really thank you so much for your active participation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nyaga, for that elaborate presentation on the overview, the challenges, the gaps, and the requirements that are supposed to be met by the counties, which is very critical information to the governors and the deputy governors. I think one of the main challenges that has been highlighted is the last one on a change of coordinators frequently, which compromises the efficiency of the program. I think these are some of the things that we'll carry with ourselves. And of course, the counterpart funding. Most of the counties have lost, actually, not even in this program alone, but even on the other programs. Like in the afternoon, we have the FLOCA program, where 3 counties are losing resources just because of very small things. I think once we take a keen interest as governors, we will be able to, allude and iron out most of the things. Now we are getting to the plenary, where now I invite His Excellency, the Vice Chair of the Council of Governors, to take us through the plenary. I believe you have so many questions, so please front them so that we can be able to finalize the morning session. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Mary. We have a few minutes. That is, it's 12:30. How many minutes do we take? Is a time for us to ask questions, and I will request...
Up to 1:15.
Huh?
Maybe up to 1:15. 1:15.
1:15. Wouldn't that be too many
30
minutes?
Okay, 30.
Why don't we stop at exactly 1? Okay. Because we can ask questions that are not even related. So my thinking is that Dr. Nyaga, ameenda wapi? Yeah, you are there, and your team, and everybody else, please. We're going to ask anyone with an issue. Let's have roving mics. Ask 3 questions, we get answers, and we progress. Very well. Nani? Anybody with a clarification required? One of them is that I heard as I was seated, Professor asking this question. Shouldn't we have brought our finance CECs? And I had no answer for him because it is for Dr. Nyaga to tell us whether they have involved the CEC's finance in training. You get anybody with an observation, an issue, any clarification that you require? I can see Abdul Swamad from the coast.
Thank you very much. My name is Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasser, the governor of Mombasa. I had, at the threat of actually sounding that we're going a bit off-cut, but I mean, the program involves heavily as well in ensuring that we reduce our pending bills and coming up with programs on our pending bills. I'm glad the team from Treasury is here as well. There's a proposal that Mombasa had actually sent to Treasury. And the proposal was more or less to ring fence for purposes of ensuring pending bills don't increase every single year. Over the last 2 years, I think we have been able to pay pending bills alone close to, we might even start reaching about 1.8 billion. But a majority of that is actually on interest, penalties, and so forth. The proposal we had given to Treasury, and we're asking the Treasury to actually re-look into this. And we told them we can actually be able to put all these pending bills in one basket, negotiate, reduce issues of penalties, and reduce the issues of interest, work out with financial institutions where whatever it is that we now pay the financial institution is ring-fenced. Now, it ended up not being viable for the county government of Mombasa, but coincidentally, I've seen now that national government is implementing this for pending bills on roads. So as much as it was an idea that we floated over, we are hoping that now that they have accepted for it to go with the roads, that the same can be done in Mombasa, and within a period of about 3 years, we would have just greatly reduced. And the net effect of this is, if you're able to negotiate and pay over a period of time, and you ring fence a revenue stream that is going to pay for purposes of that particular pending bill, you will realize, one, you're going to revive a number of companies that have died because people have just gone bankrupt because there was no money being paid. Two, a county like Mombasa having a direct injection of about 2 billion or 2.5 billion at a go will mean reviving the economy of Mombasa, and for that matter, for any county. So we are hoping that Treasury can re-look into this. And we even gave our confirmation and our calculations as well, Chair, that whatever the outcome is going to be after 3 years will be way less than what it is now. I'm sure a number of governors experience this. You wake up in the morning and you're told your CEC for finance and your chief officer of finance has a arrest warrant. For the instances of Mombasa, some arrest warrants against our CECs were done for items that were procured when I was in high school. And all of a sudden, because the former municipality anyway, I think I'm hoping that it's the right thing to do. Otherwise, we will have a continuous firefighting scheme that is going to be called pending bills.
Thank you very much, Abdul Samad. Kule Mombasa wanasema dawa ya madeni ni kulipa. I want to say this so all of us understand. If we have to meet that DLI, it is important that we check. We struggle to pay, but we also don't increase. And this one can only be done if, number one, budgeting is within our means, number one. Number two, we must also ensure that Treasury does timely release of funds. Because if they pay, the funds are released in time, governors will pay. The third one, of course, is you must think about increasing your own source revenue, which is counterproductive if you look at it. Emeritus?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a follow-up of what you suggested, that SIGA and DORA be passed at the same time.
Yes.
That amendment, I think that should be recorded and look for a way of having it done at the same time, because then we will not get into a situation like where we are. So I think the National Assembly has been using that to twist all of us in terms of what they want to do, or they want to delay us, what has been happening between the members of the National Assembly and the governors. So I think that should be captured.
In total support that SIGA and DORA must be passed at the same time. Governor Tharaka-Nithi, Muthomi Njoke, and then we will come to Baringo.
Chair, the issue I wanted to address has been addressed by Governor Speaker Emeritus. We have only 1 month to the end of the financial year. And even as we sit here and discuss these funds, we have not received any single cent from SIGA. And 1 month for implementing is a very big challenge for all the counties. In fact, I think if there was a way donor funds can be exempted from that law, it would be better. I'm sure there are ways it is possible. It can be explored another way. Because that will always be a negotiation tool by the National Assembly on anything that touches on the counties. They actually don't remember, like Dr. Nyaga put it, they live in counties. We need to find a way that we don't delay this fund. Then lastly, I agree, changing coordinators can sometimes be frequent depending on circumstances. Sometimes it's easy to just remove a rat and kill it than burn the whole house. Because if a coordinator is derailing the project, because they start as very good coordinators, then later they develop interest. We should be able to change them as long as there's endorsement of the governor at will, anytime. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Movement of people, we have learned those bad manners from national government, where ministers are lasting 6 months. So that is a problem, a Kenyan problem we have to address. Now, we also have Governor Baringo Cheboy. You know why I'm saying that? A few years ago, people my age knew that the Minister of Agriculture, Jeremiah, no question about that. Today, try asking who is the minister, Utashanga. Okay. Cheboy.
Thank you very much. Chair, the success of any nation or any county in implementation of programs is the budget. It starts with the budgeting process and ends with the budgeting process. I think in this program, if we could focus on capacity building both the executive and the assemblies on the budgeting process, then we will succeed. There are occasions that the executive would budget based on its priorities, and then when it goes to the county assembly or the national assembly, in the case of national government, the budget is changed to an extent that is different from the original plan. And this is something that we must address under this program. So the focus in any capacity building or training is how you can make sure that the budgeting process is right at the point of budgeting, approval, and implementation. Thank you.
Thank you. The Deputy Governor Busia. Vihiga, sorry. Vihiga, sorry.
Let me appreciate the national government and World Bank for this second phase of KDSP, which is a successor to KDSP 1. And I think in the process of conceptualizing and drawing lessons from KDSP 1, counties are improving. And I'm sure that KDSP 2 is now going to place counties strategically to deliver devolution. On the issue of the institutional arrangement and the structures, I want to propose and recommend that when you look at the County Program Steering Committee, chaired by governors, there is absence of deputy governors. And you see, deputy governors are the immediate support system to governors. So there is need for making express provision for the deputy governors being members to the County Program Steering Committee. Yes, because when you look at the membership, in absence of the deputy being there, then His Excellency works with the CECMs and others. And it is always good that governors are anchored by their deputies, so there is need for that express provision. improved step cutting pending bills in counties, and therefore this KDSP2 will ensure that counties are economically viable and improving on service delivery to the citizens. Thank you.
Now, may I ask this, Dr. Nyaga? Is there any express provision that bars the deputy governor from sitting in that committee? Is there any law you have put that stops them? Because I think I have seen every time we are holding that meeting, the deputy governor is in it. Is there any express law?
There is no law that prevents the governor from having the deputy governor in the steering committee.
Another question, is there any law that stops Professor Anyang' Nyong'o from asking Dr. Owili to chair that meeting when he is away? Does it nullify or negate its performance? See, because clearly a deputy governor represents a governor in his absence, but there is nothing also. So I think maybe what we need to say is this: for the purposes of KDSP, and I want to speak clearly to governors, because this is an avenue where we get more resources without necessarily having to fight through the other shareable revenue. It is important that we ensure this program succeeds. And the only way we can do that is by involving our deputies also to be part of the program, and you run with it. I think that is all. I don't think there is any governor who has an issue with that. Let's listen to Professor. And then we go to Makueni Deputy Mulili. I had said Professor first, then we come to you, though. Sorry. Prof.
Yeah, I was going to go back to the comments I made to you, Mr. Vice Chair. You know, the stuff we've been going through this morning is, I don't know about you, so I was wondering whether...
Can you give him a better mic, because we don't seem to be getting him right?
I was wondering whether you could do a meeting like this for our chief officers in charge of finance as well as our ministers of finance. If it has been done, fine, but I think if it has not, it is really necessary. Because as governors, I don't know about my colleagues, but when I leave here and go to Kisumu, I don't think I'm going to remember all this. Quite honestly, I'm being very frank, because there are so many things to remember in this world that this is just a fraction of it. And it is very important. I mean, I've sat here taking heavy notes just so that when I go back, I can refer to my notes and see what I can remember. But I really think, Mr. Vice Chair, that this kind of meeting should be organized for our CEC in charge of finance as well as chief officers, really, if it's going to be useful. If you don't mind, please, can we do it as soon as possible so that we can have an informed conversation with them? Yeah.
Okay, maybe the answer I would want to give on this, on their behalf, is that today was only a sensitization for governors. This program has been going on for almost a year. So they have been involved. Is that true? There have been meetings. Today was only for us as governors to be sensitized. But the program has been running. You have heard that we have already met, all counties have met the DLIs for the institutional grant. Is that what you said? Meaning the program has been going on. Today was for governors to be sensitized, and then we launch the program. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, my Minister for Finance is away in Morocco.
Yes.
He has been away for 1 week, so I wasn't briefed that they'll be attending this kind of... If that is the case, then I have no problem.
Thank you. Just before that, let's listen to Governor Lamu, Governor Timami, and then Deputy Governor Makueni, and then we'll talk to the chair. Fine.
Thank you, Vice Chair. It's Timami, Governor Lamu. I have two recommendations. The first one, in the county steering committee, instead of having the speaker, I think it would be more effective to have the leader of majority, him being the leader of business at the assembly. Secondly, on the presentation by Dr. Nyaga, level 2 investment grant, one of the recommendations on how it will be allocated was that 50% of the envelope is divided amongst counties combined along the lines of the CRA formula. Issues with that because one, right now we are not even sure what the CRA formula is, and secondly, the CRA formula is normally skewed against the small counties. Those are my comments.
Thank you very much. I hope, Dr. Nyaga, you have captured that, those two areas, those concerns. One, should we have the speaker or the leader of majority? Number two, when you talk about the second grant, are you going to really be fair if you use that other formula? Mulili, and then we come to, just a minute, okay.
Thank you very much. I had similar concerns about the county steering committee, which the speaker is involved, and my suggestion would be the county clerk at the clerk at the county assembly, being the CEO for the assembly. My other question was about the KRA 2, Key Resort Area 2, about the PC and HR, and as part of the areas that they had indicated that they will be looking at is about the payroll, staff establishment and structures of the various departments. I wish to add about whether within the same KRA 2, we can add something on staff rationalization within the county. As you realize, within the counties, you may find some staff who are idle, others underutilized, and it's important for them really to be rationalized within this key KRA 2 so that they can be given duties where they fit in. And I'm saying this from what I've seen at the county in Makueni. You find sometimes when there are drivers probably without vehicles. The other times, probably because of the vehicles are broken down. But again, we have seen areas whereby at the health, Department of Health, you find some people have left to greener pastures abroad, and then it's declared as a saving instead of declaring as a vacancy, and therefore as a saving, therefore they request for the clinical officers, they're requesting to be added more money from within that, from within that saving. Then you realize probably if they are not declaring a vacancy, that means there was some overstaffing somewhere. And therefore, I'm just, my thought is about staff rationalization to be included in KRA 2. And finally, there was something mentioned in passing about the gender officers training. I didn't understand what was that, and I would like more clarification.
Thank you very much, Cecily Mbalile. I think you are capturing that, Daktari, on the issue of staff rationalization. Now we have
Thank you, Chair. I think this was a very important meeting for us as the governors and the deputy governors, because I am sure we are all now better informed about KDSP. And while I appreciate that, why I think this was important and the call for us to chair the county steering committee, whatever the name was, is because even when we have our officers who have come for training, I remember I had my coordinator having to come to me several times to tell me that the finance people are not understanding that there are certain conditions that we must meet in order that we may be able to get more grant or more support. So now I'm better informed, and I really now will chair these meetings from a point of serious information. But more importantly, I wanted to request, if kindly, that the presentation that was done by Dr. Nyaga could be availed to us through the council, so we carry it with us, because I think that's going to be like our Mwa Kenya, so to speak, in terms of this KDSP program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know we have it in the counties, but please do it again. The other thing is that governors must understand and know there is a focus on counter funding. Counter funding is the only thing that is going to help you achieve. And counter funding is not, there is no percentage. Just allocate money to do those things that you have said you will do to achieve your KPIs or something, your KPIs. Now we were CEO, and then who was it next? There was Dagane, and then there was Dharakanidhi.
Thank you, Chair. Deputy Governor Kwale,
Okay.
I'm almost getting attracted to the comments by His Excellency, the Governor of Kisumu, because having listened keenly to the presentation, Chair, I want to agree with the Governor on competition. For us,